Welcome, my fellow patriots, to our next daily episode of Save Our Republic. Today I'm going to talk about the idea of truth. Declaration of Independence provides as follows. We hold these truths to be self-evident. The founding generation clearly believed in truth. But today, that whole idea of truth has been under assault, and not just recently, not just from the last few years, but over the course of the last several generations. There's a whole set of people that have been raised in the academy that have written essays and published books and developed arguments that there is no such thing as truth, that everything is decided by power, by your personal perspective, your biases, your what you want to perceive, what society you live in, etc. And they fundamentally attack the whole idea that there's anything that can be true in the world. It's all perspective and relations. It's all about power and what people are trying to do, and not about an objective truth. Founding Fathers rejected that idea. They fervently believed that you could determine a truth, that it was objective, and that some truths were so easily understood that you didn't even have to argue over them. That's what a self-evident truth is. And I'll talk about that maybe in another episode, but for now I just want to talk about the idea of truth in general. This idea was fundamental to the Judeo-Christian perspective through scripture and otherwise, through Western civilization, and it was clearly the prevailing ethic at the time of the founding. In 1776, obviously in the Declaration of Independence, but otherwise. I'm going to quote a short passage from John Adams. He wrote a letter to Thomas Jefferson. It was in 1813, so a few decades after the Declaration, and he wrote it as follows, quote, "The human understanding is a revelation from its maker, which can never be disputed or doubted. There can be no skepticism, Pyrrhonism, or incredulity or infidelity here. No prophecies, no miracles are necessary to prove this celestial communication. This revelation has made it certain that 2 and 1 make 3. 2 and 1 make, I can't do this right, 2 and 1 make 3. Nor can 3 be 1. We can never be so certain as of any prophecy or the fulfillment of any prophecy or of any miracle or the design of any miracle as we are for the revelation of nature, nature's God, that 2 and 2 are 4. Miracles or prophecies might frighten us to lie, to say that we believe that 2 and 2 make 5. But we should not believe it. We should know the contrary." Unquote. So there it is. For those people that claim that there is no truth, I will use a more modern example of University of Toronto professor Jordan B. Peterson. He has a best-selling 12 Rules of Life, and he has a fabulous podcast, and he says there obviously are truths. Pain is truth. You can't dispute pain. You can't dispute thirst and hunger. Those things exist. I am not a camel. You are not a rock. If you don't eat for a long time, your body will stop moving and you will die. If somebody is deprived of oxygen for several minutes, they will die. There are rock-bred truths. The question is, how do you find the truth? Can you debate certain truths? Absolutely. That's not the question. The question is that there is truth. And as Americans, our job is, number one, to recognize that there are truths. Number two, that there are self-evident truths, which I said we'll talk about in another episode, and that we should strive to hold our public officials and ourselves and those that we work with to tell the truth. Lies, fabrications, misrepresentations are the pathway to doom and to the abyss. Truth will set you free. God bless you, and God bless America. Don't forget about America's Survival Guide at americasurvivalguide.com, the Patriot Lessons American History and Civics podcast, and there is an episode that goes into this much more detail, episode number 8 of the podcast, And you can find the podcast where you can hear podcasts. And we also have, obviously, this series on the YouTube channel of Patriot Week. And don't forget about patriotweek.org. Again, God bless you. God bless America. We'll see you tomorrow.